this is Amy and welcome to Become Your Own Favorite Chef. I know most of you lead very busy lives. Most of you are parents, you've got jobs, just like me. I'm a full-time Spanish high school teacher. I play roller derby, which practices twice a week. I have other hobbies as well besides cooking and roller derby. I hike, I cave, I camp. I've got dogs and a cat and a husband. I'm pretty busy myself, so believe it or not, I don't spend hours every single week cooking. Yet I have good meals every single day. And the key to that is prep work. And today I'm going to show you a very easy chicken recipe that's delicious enough that could be a meal in its own, or you can make a whole bunch of it and keep it in the refrigerator and use it throughout the week in plenty of other recipes. So here I have bought some chicken breasts that haven't been trimmed too well. They're cheaper that way. I just bought a packet there at the grocery store. I don't like the frozen ones because they're a little harder to deal with and they don't seem to be quite as good a quality. But when you get breasts like this in a packet, they're pretty nice. I do trim off the excess fat first with some scissors, because who likes that? Now that we have our chicken breasts trimmed up without any of that excess fat, we're going to pound them out so that they are even. The reason we pound out chicken, it helps tenderize it, but also you can see how there's really thick parts of the breast and then really thin parts. If you didn't pound this out so it was an even thickness, your chicken wouldn't cook all the way through on the thick ends and it would burn on the other thinner ends. So it's just easier to cook that way. But before you do anything, wash your hands and your scissors. Now you don't want to start off by just pounding away at this chicken, because if you do that, you're going to find little chunks of raw chicken all over your clothes, all over your kitchen, and that's just unsanitary. So I buy just some clear wrap. I place it over the chicken, and that's going to protect me and my kitchen from raw chicken pieces. If you have a meat mallet like this, it's textured. This is really good at tenderizing chicken. And this is what I start off with. However, if you don't, even just using a spatula like this will get the job done and will get the chicken even. I'm going to use this. It's my favorite. Now when you're beating this chicken, don't be nice to it. You don't love the chicken. If you're a bird, I'm a bird. You're going to eat this chicken. And you need to beat it. Alright, the more you do it, the thinner it gets and the tenderer it gets. So get out some aggression, have a little fun. Once you've pounded on one side, you can turn the chicken over, and I like to do both sides. Just makes it a little easier for me to even everything up. You know you're done when your chicken looks much bigger, but it's about the same evenness from head to toe. And it's time to season. You know seasoning's important. I'm going to keep this chicken where it's seasoned enough that it's tasty enough to eat on its own, but that it's not so overpowered in a certain flavor that I can't add it to pastas or other sauces or salads or sandwiches, because that's why I'm making all this chicken. Trust me, me and Drew aren't going to eat all this in one meal. So I'm going to start off with garlic salt, as always. I always like the salt first because I think salt's important. Really gives the most flavor. A little bit of pepper. And again, just like our fish here, I don't want to over season, but I don't want to under season. I want to be able to barely see the seasoning on this flesh without covering it up. Another seasoning that I love besides garlic, salt, and pepper for chicken is Cavender's, and I've got salt-free here because I'm already using salt. Cavender's is just a really good way to enhance the flavor of chicken, give it a little more of a kick without making it spicy. This is not going to be a spicy chicken. But you know, you can make it spicy. You could always add some Cajun seasoning or some cayenne pepper or some ground red pepper. Even smoked paprika is really good on chicken. Turning these over. Not going to use my dirty hand on my seasonings. And salt the other side. And pepper. Sometimes if I'm eating this by itself, I'll also add some dry Italian herbs. Whether it's just a box of mixed Italian herbs or some basil or parsley or rosemary, my favorite. That's really good on chicken, but I find it can be a little overpowering if I'm going to use this chicken in other recipes, so today I'm going to leave it off. Now I'm going to keep this healthy, so we're not dusting this chicken in powder, we're not dipping it in buttermilk or eggs. Alright, this is what we're going to do right here, just keep it lean and delicious. Alright, in my pan, I just added a few tablespoons of olive oil. You know I love olive oil, I think it tastes good. But you could use other kinds of oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, anything's fine. You want to add just enough that it coats the bottom of the pan so that your chicken doesn't stick. This oil is also going to help crisp up and give it a nice crust so your chicken tastes delicious. After I've got the oil down, I've got my heat on medium-high, and we'll wait till it's hot enough to add the chicken. So in goes the chicken. I'm going to start with my big pieces first. Oh yeah, that sizzle lets you know it is ready. And I'm going to cook these with the lid on for about 5 minutes on each side until the chicken is perfectly golden brown. Alright, it's been 5, actually maybe 6 minutes. I haven't touched the chicken. You don't need to mess with it, just leave it alone so it forms its own crust. Turn that over. Oh yeah. Looking good and golden brown. We're going to let this go for another 5 or 6 minutes until the other side looks good. And that looks pretty good. And we are finished. And here's our beautiful finished chicken. You can see it's got this great brown crispy crust, and that's because of the way we cooked it. That oil sears that so that it creates its own crispiness on the outside, but seals in all those juices so that when we cut into it, it's going to be really nice and juicy. You're not going to get that from grilling chicken, that'll dry it out, and you're not going to get that crispy crust from baking chicken. So this is the best way to cook it. So let's dig in and have a taste. So tender, don't even need a knife. Really flavorful, delicious enough by itself, but not overpowering that I can't add this to future recipes.